Good morning, YouTube. This is Tired Metalhead Weatherman. Hopefully, you guys have had a good weekend so far. Yesterday seemed like it was going to be a relatively calmer day, so I went ahead and took a break. I've been trying to do that for a while, even though I later heard that had gone up to a slight risk as well. Just kind of annoying. It seemed like a quiet day overall, but there were also some other rumblings going on. I almost ended up making a video anyway, but I needed that break. It did a lot of good for me. But we do have plenty to talk about, but this video is actually going to be solely on the tropics because there have been a few new developments in the last 24 hours since I made a video, or really more like 36 now. It's kind of weird to say that, but we're going to jump right on into it here. So we're looking at the 2-day outlook here for the Atlantic Basin, and we now have a little area over here in the Gulf that has a chance of formation. As of right now, in 2 days, it has a 0% chance. It's all the disorganized showers and thunderstorms right now, and we'll go into detail about that in a minute. But we also want to talk about this disturbance right here. It's now been upgraded to a 40% chance within 48 hours. Before it had been kind of hanging around at about 30, and now when we go up to 5 days, it's sitting at about 70%. This isn't unexpected. More than likely, this will end up being our next name storm, which will be Bonnie, and then 5 days, this will be moving towards the Antilles and trying to head towards this little strait here. There's even still a small chance that it may clip parts of South America. But let's go to the 5-day outlook and really take a look at everything. On the 5-day outlook, that's when confidence really starts to ramp up here. We're looking at a 70% chance of development, and this is definitely looking like it's going to be heading into this little strait right here. It seems like when I looked at the conditions for this area, it's actually not too bad compared to what it normally is. So this storm could very well really grow and thrive here for right now. So we're going to be watching this with great interest to see what this does next. Will it impact Mexico? Will it slip its way past Mexico and Cuba and head into the Gulf and impact us? It's too far out to tell right now, to be honest. But I also want you to pay attention to this disturbance right here. This secondary system right here that's popped up. This is when confidence starts to go up, albeit slightly, of something popping up in the next 5 days, over towards Louisiana and Texas in particular. This is, like I said, it's a disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms, just hanging off the Gulf Coast right now, hanging off the Florida Panhandle. But chances do look like they start to go up. It's very warm in the Gulf. Wind shear is relatively light, so this could very well turn into something for the Texas coast, especially. I think right here is right here towards the center of this circle is where I'd be watching extremely close for development. So we got 2 areas of interest, and we're going to get a little further into detail with this in just a moment. Also, I see a little bit of activity going on in the Eastern Pacific. These are not threats to land, but I figured since I'm doing a whole video on tropics, I may as well do everything. Here's Tropical Storm Celia, beginning to weaken, beginning to push out to sea. It's moving west-northwest at 10 miles an hour. It was sitting at 65 miles per hour the last time I was looking at it, and it's weakened pretty considerably. We're almost back to 1,000 millibars. And then we have a secondary area of interest. Within 5 days, there is a 30% chance of development. It's a trough of low pressure. It's formed well south of the southern coast of Mexico. It could develop, most likely it's going to be developing gradually. It's not going to be rapid development. But I just figured I may as well go over it. Go over towards the Central Pacific and Hawaii. You aren't in any sort of danger within the next 5 days. So you guys enjoy the weather there. Hopefully it's not too bad. But anyway, let's look into the Atlantic Basin. We're currently looking at the GEFS. This is our ensemble model. Prefer to use these models more for the tropics. we do have a little area that tries to develop here towards the central part of the Atlantic here, but this environment is a little less favorable for development. I don't think this will get organized. I think it honestly will get torn apart. And we have these little small areas right here, again heading into unfavorable environments, so these are not expected to form into anything. And you can see, well, it seems like it's trying to get its act together, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to make it. Well, hang on a minute. GEFS is showing something interesting. I mean, it's still going to end up being a fish storm ultimately, but has an interesting look. And lo and behold, somewhere down here is where our area of interest is, our potential invest area. Okay, there we go. I think it should be somewhere around here. It's hard to find right now. Should be somewhere right about here. This is over towards the Eastern Pacific, so I'm not really worried about that. That's probably the system that we were looking at just a second ago that has a 30% chance of development over there. But somewhere around here is where our system should be going. Not really able to find it right now, which is kind of odd. I think once it gets past the Antilles, maybe I'll see something. Perhaps this is it right here. Let's check the time frame. It's about 126 hours. But that means that this will be really starting to pick up speed, which is not great for development. So this kind of throws a wrench in everything. There's still a lot. I mean, with as far out as this thing is, there's still a lot of uncertainty. But I still can't really see anything. I haven't seen anything in the Gulf either within 5 days. It seems like it all kind of seems really messy, to be honest. Maybe they have the storm getting kicked out to the north and becoming another fish storm. It's hard to say because this is kind of confusing me. I'm out here just trying to look at trying to get any sort of inkling as to what's going on, and just all of it seems so unclear with the ensemble model here. We might have to take a look at the operational here, because this seems like a wacky run. Alright, so we'll go to the operational here. You gotta love calling audibles in, you gotta love calling these kinds of audibles. Ugh. Okay, check the East Atlantic first. Try to see where we can get a view of this thing. The other reason I like the ensemble is because you can get a better view of things. You can look at the entire Atlantic basin, whereas with the operational, you just don't have that same luxury. Alright, let's try this and see if we can't pick up on what we have, what we already have, and it kind of looks like the GFS is on the same track here. It's not really showing me anything. Well, no. Yeah, that's odd. Very odd. Wait, hang on a minute. Here it is. GFS actually has this going into the operational. GFS has this clipping the northern tier of South America, coming back out here into the this little strait here, and maybe pushing its way towards the Gulf. It kind of looks like it's taking more of a westerly track. I'm gonna try to see if I can keep up with this thing. I'm gonna look towards the Caribbean. Maybe I'll get a good view of it there. Move this about 108 hours out. There we go. Uh-oh. Forget trying to do it that way, always messes it up. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, here we are, 108 hours out, and we see this make its way off of South America, start to develop, but I think this is gonna mainly hit Mexico. Might be a pretty considerably sized storm. But then it's just going to go through Mexico and pretty much die out. It's not going to be a threat to the lower 48 by any stretch. But hang on, we do see another system right here trying to develop. I think it will from the looks of the operational run, but once you get up to about 200 hours out, this is about as credible as I can't figure out that joke. It's trying to be funny. It didn't work that time. I'm sorry. But there's not a lot of credibility once you get to about 200 hours out, even with the ensemble runs, let alone an operational. So not really a lot to go off of there. I mean, we do see some clear indication of the tropics trying to ramp up in activity here. Let's see what the Euro's got going on here. Uh-oh. I don't have this in loop mode either. Okay, here we go. So this goes by a little bit quicker. It jumps every 24 hours versus every 3 hours with the GFS. And here it is right here again. This is the just a straight up Euro model. This is the operational. This isn't the ensemble either. The ensemble's pretty out of date. Should be expecting an update within the next couple hours there. Try to give you the most up-to-date information that I can. But we can clearly see our system right here. And it looks like it's in line with the GFS, not GEFS. And this looks like it's on a track to making its way towards Mexico once again. Mainly towards the Yucatan. So we're about 120 hours out, 5 days from now, and this definitely looks like a Mexico impact as well. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at the Gulf as well, see if there's anything going on from the operational runs. As of right now, I don't see anything. As far as the GFS, figured I'd give that one more whirl and see if there's any sort of truth as to what the NHC has going on with this. So right now, I don't see much of anything. Of course, this takes a lot longer to load up versus the Euro, which skips every 24 hours. So about 5 days from now, be about 120 hours. And I don't really see anything, to be honest with you. Nope, I don't see anything popping up in the Gulf right now. This, of course, can easily change within the next 2 or 3 runs. So we'll keep a close eye on it. I'll be doing more updates on this as we're getting deeper and deeper into hurricane season and things are expected to pick up. But it looks like that's all I got for you on this video today. I'll be making another one soon, most likely a long-range forecast, and maybe even starting to look towards the July the 4th weekend. Well, actually, no, it'll be that too. But until that video, this has been Tire Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys have a good Sunday and a good rest of the weekend.